I set my legacy project with one goal, to determine whether I could use native plants to help others in the environment. This is why for my legacy project, I created a sustainable cookbook recipe using ingredients and plants native to the Sonoran Desert. This recipe is for tacos de nopalitos, or cactus, with mesquite flour tortillas. The main ingredient in this dish is the prickly pear cactus, or nopal. The prickly pear is used in Mexico and the U.S. by the Tohono O'odham tribe. In both countries, the young pads of the cactus are harvested, cleaned out, cut up, and then prepared by either boiling or grilling the pads. One fruit I was unfortunately not able to use due to them being out of season right now is the prickly pear of the prickly pear cactus. Historically, this fruit was called tuna and was sparsely used. This is due to the difficulty of extracting all the glochids or spines from the fruit to eat. But those who did regularly consume the fruit, such as the Tupai of Baja California, coveted the fruit as a sweet snack and source of hydration in the harsh summers of the Sonoran Desert. The last native species used in this recipe are the seed pods of the velvet mesquite tree. This tree is one of the most common trees and shrub species in the Sonoran Desert. Their seed pods were grinded into a powder and used as a flour substitute or add-on for many products such as tortillas. This technique was primarily used by the Tohono O'odham. The first part of the recipe is to make the mesquite tortillas for the tacos. You will need the following ingredients: 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour, 1 cup of mesquite flour, which you can get online on, for example, Amazon, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon of olive oil, which could be measured as 10 teaspoons of olive oil, and 3/4 cup of water. Before making the mesquite tortillas, as a disclaimer, they do have a very strong smell, which many might not be able to tolerate, so this part of the recipe is optional. First, in a medium-sized bowl, mix in your whole wheat flour, mesquite flour, and salt. Next, mix in olive oil and gradually add in water. Knead the dough for 3 minutes, then cover with a cloth and let it sit for 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes are up, separate the dough into 8 pieces and let it sit again for another 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes are up, set a skillet on medium to low heat. Next, get the dough balls and roll them out till they're 1/8 inches thick and are in a semicircular shape. Put the dough on the skillet. Begin flipping every 2 to 3 seconds till each side has brown spot. Make sure not to leave them for too long or they'll burn. Repeat the process for the other 7 dough balls. For the next step of this recipe, we will be making the nopalitos, or cactus filling of the tacos. You will need the following ingredients for this step: 2 to 3 cactus pads, 1 onion, some cilantro, 5 limes, 1 serrano pepper, olive oil, and salt and pepper. Before you begin cooking anything, first get a medium pot of salt water and bring it to a boil. The next part of the step for the recipe is the cleaning, preparing, and cooking of the cactus. If you can't harvest a cactus by hand as seen in the video, you can buy cactus in most grocery stores. In addition, cactus can usually be found cheap in local Mexican shops and grocery stores like Food City or El Super. Getting the nopales, you first wash them off. After washing, use the tip of a sharp knife to trim the edge of the pad. Next, you shave the spikes off the cactus by going back and forth with your knife on both sides. Do this until all visible spikes are taken off. Next, you will cut the pad into cubes. Once they're ready, you put them in a boiling pot of water. Next, bring this pot to a rolling boil and let it cook for 1 to 2 minutes. Once fully cooked, the cactus should look like a dark, almost olive green. Next, strain the pot with a fine mesh sleeve and rinse the cactus for 1 minute. Next, cut up the onion, serrano pepper, and cilantro. Set the serrano pepper and cilantro to the side. Add up the cut up onions into a pan with some olive oil and cook till they are golden brown. Once golden brown, add the cactus into the pan and cook for 1 minute. After cooking, put the cactus mix into a separate bowl, mix in the serrano pepper, salt, and pepper. Finally, serve your nopalitos on a mesquite tortilla and garnish with cilantro and lime juice. And there you have it, a healthy and sustainable dish using the native plants of Arizona.